Hello everyone, today I'm going to be taking a look at Acid House Terrain's Cyberpunk City set, the supersized version, which is currently back on Kickstarter for a reprint. Alright folks, so this is the Acid House Cyberpunk set in all its magnificent weighty glory. This is the supersized version, and if I spin it around, you should be able to see a list of contents for both the regular set and the supersized set right here, telling you all the sorts of things you get in the box. And if I slip it out, and pop it open, when you get your flat pack set, it looks like this. Buildings all color coded, along with the relevant fillers. I suppose fillers is a good word. These little sprues contain the pieces to hold the table board together. So each one of those is a connector. And then we go more buildings and fillers and buildings and fillers. So your fillers are flat packed cardboard, relatively chunky and big. And then the outer skin is a thinner satin finished cardboard. Ooh, very cyberpunk, like it. Makes sense. He say you brain runner. Oh my lord, look at that. That's a spanking set of signage. Oh, I love that. Bright poppy colours throughout. And when we get right down to the very bottom, we'll start hitting the actual tiles itself, which are double-sided and used to make the 6x4. So an absolutely jam-packed box from top to bottom with a ton of card in it. I am going to build a table and we'll be back in just one moment. All right, everybody, I'm back. I've built my Cyber City. Before we have a look at it, a couple of things. My little connectors for the table. I have 3 spare. Get a bag, a little Ziploc poly pocket to protect these things, for you will need them. Because while you don't need them all to lock the whole board together, if you don't have them, then there are gaps in your roads, which you don't want. Nobody wants that. So keep those secret, keep them safe. The board itself went together very quickly. There are 2 types of tile. Obviously, the reversible on the reverse side are 1-inch dots, so that you've got a grid if you want to play a game that uses movement like that, like Dead Zone, 3-inch cubes, that sort of thing. And on the top there are 2 designs of road. Now the main trunk roads all lay out perfectly. However, the east-west roads, as I'm choosing to believe they are, you've got a double width set and then a single like civilian pedestrian area set. They are not interchangeable that way, so you can alternate your grid, but you can't alternate the board sections this way because your road will suddenly hit a wall and then take off again. So there's still some modularity in the board build, depending on how you put it together, and your pedestrian area has slightly larger pavement areas for bigger buildings or setups of buildings. As far as putting the board and the buildings together, 15 minutes. 15 minutes, boom, 6x4 done. It then took me substantially longer to put all of my little dressing bits on, and I've not done all of them. In fact, you get 6 sheets. So you get 3 different types of sheet. This one, which is filled with street signs, little bus shelters, which I think are adorable. Some little solar panels on the bottom here, and even like a little helipad type thing, which is really nice. Then we have a set of chain link fences, Jersey barricades, and little sort of trusses to stop people going into areas that are off limits. And you can see the Jersey barricades are actually double-sided, so you can set them up with or without graffiti, which I really like because, I mean, that's nice. It's just a little barricade. Don't come in here. This one, on the other hand, that's been absolutely festooned with graffiti. Terrific. And it's not the only thing that's covered in graffiti in this city. The bridges are, as well as are some of the other bus shelters and things. Occasionally you'll see a quote that I recognize from something, some of which I can't actually talk about on the internet because I'll be beeped out by my editor. But other ones have got things like Rage Against the Machine quotes on it, which I'm always a fan of. And then there are 2 sheets of this, which are all our street signs, which look absolutely fantastic. A little bit fiddly to put on. Presumably you want to put them on and take them off. So it is what it is. I will say with these 3/6 sheets, they are a thin wax satin finished card. They are not punched heavily through. And in some cases it took me longer to make all of the signage and barricades and the like, or rather take them all off the sprues than it did to make the buildings, because I was worried about tearing them. So you may want to keep a knife on hand. Most of the case it will punch through without an issue, but I was just very aware if you tear it, it is the finish that you're losing, so you don't want to lose that. But otherwise you can put together a really dense, multi-leveled city for your cyberpunk games, whether it's Codeblade, obviously fantastic one, Cyberpunk Red Dead Redemption or whatever it's called, or Infinity. There's a lot of play with this, and obviously because it's all modular and stackable, you can have a lot of fun with that as well. Get all the elevations in, which is very important in a lot of these games, and all the little street signs and neon lights and solar panels then help to block line of sight or give cover and terrain as you're playing in through it. And it's a case of just seeing how many different things you can spot, like Scott Brown's space removal? Yeah, space rental. So obviously we all know where that's from, but there's a silicon soul over there, and I'm fairly certain that's what Dorian had in Almost Human, which is a fantastic TV series. So yeah, spectacular setup from Acid House. Really nice, punchy, film noir, neon cyberpunk setting, very Blade Runner, which is what I want to see on my cyberpunk tables. And the finish and the detail, the resolution on all of these buildings is fantastic. And then some of the smaller buildings actually have I want to say interior. So you can see it has a tiled bright blue interior. So you could potentially take the big box out so that you have this, and you can see that there is a building inside there. But you have the problem then that the flaps on the top fold back up again. So maybe a smaller section like that to hold the box rigid, or hold the building rigid again when you take that out, if you want that interior, would be handy. But I know they've done it with their fantasy. But the 3 medium-sized buildings all have that. And because they're all color-coded when you're building them, it's very quickly to put them together. So orange there tells me that the orange banded insert is the same size. That's why it's so quick to build this, because you're literally just going blue meet blue, yellow meet yellow, orange meets orange, green meets green. Off you go, bish, bash, bosh, it all goes down. Final thing, which is a nice little addition, are these huge illuminated banners that we have. And we may get some B-roll of this, I'm not sure. But I like these because they're huge flexible bits of advertising hoarding that you would see in Times Square or Tokyo, wherever it happens to be. Very cyberpunk-esque, but it looks to have all of the Kickstarter backers on it from a previous Kickstarter, which is a nice touch. I like it, I appreciate that. Big props to the people who helped fund this originally. But there we go. If you fancy playing out your cyberpunk games, then check out this fantastic set of stuff from Acid House, and I'll move on. There we have it, folks. A magnificent table's worth of terrain for your 28mm cyberpunk gaming. If you are a fan of the likes of Codeblade, then this is absolutely nailed on for you. It comes in a variety of flavors, from I think a 2x3, 2x4, up to the full 6x4. So you can get like a quarter fill, 50% fill, the city fill, which is like a 4x4, and then the supersized one is the 6x4 set. So depending on how much terrain, what style of game you're playing, you may want to go for one of the smaller options. but it goes together beautifully, has a really punchy, vibrant city feel, and it's currently on that Kickstarter for the reprint as we speak, alongside the new 10mm sci-fi terrain. So if you're a fan of drop zone, polyversal, full spectrum dominance, epic, warpath, whatever it happens to be, then there's a really good set of terrain coming there as well, particularly with things like the flyovers. The multi-level flyovers are really, really nice. So it's a fantastic product for people who don't have a load of storage space, maybe don't have a game that often, being able to pack down into a large box, a whole 6-foot by 4-foot board, including the tiles and the terrain, and slot it away. And when you're ready for it, you can just pull it out and pop it together in double quick fashion. Off you go. Let me know what you think below, folks, and check out the campaign that's probably down below here. We'll be back soon. Bye-bye.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.